Hi, today's video is on debilitation. Most of the time, when we visit any astrologer, see, or you. Most of the time, when we visit any astrologer, what happens? And the astrologer says you have so many planets debilitated. You have this debilitated. You have Jupiter debilitated. You have Mercury debilitated. You have Sun debilitated. Whatever. So it's a kind of depression. You feel depressed that you have debilitated planets. Debilitated planets means those planets are not mature, those planets are not strong, those planets have to go a long way to learn something. Like Jupiter exalted, you have much knowledge about that things. Jupiter exalted in particular nakshatra, about that particular thing you have much knowledge. Okay. Venus exalted in a particular nakshatra. Venus exalted in Revati. So your affection is towards everyone. Venus exalted is not you are loving your husband or your boyfriend or something like that. It's not like that. Venus exalted in Revati. Revati is the last nakshatra, and Venus exalted in Revati means you love each and every entity. Generally, Revati people, they are very affectionate towards trees, towards water, towards mountain, towards animals. They are affectionate towards everything, every possible thing. But whenever we have anything debilitated, we feel depressed, like ये debilitated है, क्या होगा मेरा? You should know that most of the famous people have planets debilitated. ठीक? I don't say कि debilitation is very great, debilitation है तो बहुत अच्छा है, ऐसा नहीं है. Always good planet should be exalted. Bad planets अगर debilitated हो, राहु केतु debilitated है तो you are a very good person. क्योंकि राहु केतु अगर exalted है तो you are very shrewd, very clever. ठीक है. अगर राहु केतु एक्साल्टेड के साथ दूसरे प्लैनेट्स, अच्छे प्लैनेट्स भी एक्साल्टेड है या अच्छे प्लैनेट्स भी गुड पोजीशन में है, देन यू कैन बी अ गुड पर्सन. बट जुपिटर एक्साल्टेड है, उसके साथ राहु केतु एक्साल्टेड है, ऐसा भी हो सकता है. आपका नॉलेज तो बहुत है बट यू आर वेरी क्लेवर. You take some advantage from a particular person or a particular group of people who are not that intelligent or who are obliged to you. You do something or other to take some advantage from those people. इसीलिए but when most of the famous people have one or two planets debilitated. ये क्यों होता है ये मैं बता रही हूँ. Like शाहरुख खान is having sun debilitated. Now Prince Charles is having sun debilitated. Queen Elizabeth was having Mercury debilitated. Okay. Lady Diana was having Jupiter debilitated. So why it happens that this list can be very long. At this particular moment, I do remember 2-3 only examples. So I have given those 2-3 examples only. So why people with debilitated planets become famous? Because the particular planet which is debilitated, you put good lot of force to achieve that. When your Jupiter is exalted, my guru used to say, when your Jupiter is exalted, this is means smooch. When your Jupiter is exalted, this is means this is means head. This is Oreo's head. When your Jupiter is exalted, Jupiter is exalted in Pushya, Punarvasu, some says means Cancer only. Classical text says it is Punarvasu, but it is good in Pushya also. So someone's Jupiter is exalted. So that particular person can be very weak in that particular house of Sagittarius. So when some planet is exalted, you are very confident about the things related to that planet, and it can be possible that few things are very weak क्योंकि आपने अनदेखा अनसुना किया है. You have just neglected few things. Because you have much knowledge, you are very confident, you neglected few fields of your life, जिस वजह से आपको बाद में दिक्कत हो सकती है. डेबिलिटेटेड प्लैनेट होने से क्या होता है? व्हेन यू हैव समथिंग डेबिलिटेटेड एट सम प्लेस, you put whole lot of force to achieve that. Okay, you put whole lot of force to achieve that. Like sun is debilitated, so so many people were not expecting that he will be the king, but he actually became king at a very late age, 70 plus, but he became king. Okay. Mercury debilitated, so many people says that Mercury debilitated is not bad. It is bad for like calculation. Your calculation can be weak. If Mercury is in Uttar Bhadrapada, your calculation can be weak, but you are very spiritual. If Mercury is in Revati, person can be very spiritual. Person can be very good author. Some of the famous authors are having Mercury debilitated. क्या लगता है कि author needs high level of intelligence to write a novel, but it might not happen. Author needs a particular level of imagination, not calculation. Okay. And now I will give example of two brothers, two cousins, both. One of them are having one sun debilitated, another is having sun exalted. So I will compare the two horoscopes. One is having sun debilitated, another is having sun exalted. They are cousin brothers. So their parents, their fathers are brother. Okay. So one is having sun debilitated, another is having sun exalted. What is sun? Sun is symbol of your father. It can be your sun, can be your 11th lord, 10th lord, 7th lord, anything, but it symbolizes your father. How will be your relationship with your father? So a person, one of the brother who is having sun debilitated, one of the brother who is having sun exalted, just imagine, sun exalted, father is not educated, father is very sick, father is not earning, but the father's family is backing up the son. The father's family has gifted every possible thing which is necessary to run life, because the son exalted, but the father is not neither educated, not the father is like earning good, means not earning that much to run a family and all these things, but son means the father is so weak, but the father's family is backing up the child to do everything possible. Even one relative has gifted a house. Another person, son debilitated. So it gives an impression that father is not educated, father is not earning. No, son debilitated, but the father is highly educated and earning really huge. But when the son needs cooperation from father, the son does not get that cooperation. So it is not about education, or it is not about any situation, that it can be a son debilitated person, a father of a son debilitated person can be very rich, very educated, but not so cooperative. Father of a sun exalted person can be sick, uneducated or very less educated, not earning much, only earning a very little amount, but the sun is exalted. So the father of that particular family, of that particular person's father, provides everything possible and they shower him with love. When the child with sun debilitated gets criticism most of the time, what he is not doing. If I compare both the child with each other, the sun debilitated person works very hard to get affection. In contrary, that boy is affectionate to the father, but he is not getting back the required appreciation and affection. So what happens? This kind of kids who are having moon debilitated, sun debilitated, they don't get necessary affection from parents. So they, most of the time, they work very hard to earn that affection. It might be possible that for the whole life they will crave for affection, but through this journey, that person can be famous, like Shah Rukh Khan, because Shah Rukh Khan's father was not earning much. Shah Rukh Khan's father was not having much money, and you just know how much Shah Rukh Khan is earning, because this type of child who is having moon debilitated, most of the moon debilitated people's daughters or sons' mother is in hospital job, doctor, nurse, or any kind of hospital job. So the mother is never home. Even the child is having fever, high fever, but the mother is in the hospital because some patient is emergency. So this kind of people, they when they go for a family life, they give too much affection, most of the time too much affection to their kids. To manage this imbalance, the affection or the money or the care which they did not get in their childhood. So that might be the reason they are more successful than the exalted planet people. But most of the time I have seen that sun exalted people has got awards. But I have already given example of sun debilitated people can be extremely, like, it can be a sun debilitated person can be a king also. So same way, a Rahu debilitated person, Rahu is in spiritual houses, water house. So Rahu is feels very weak because Rahu is very materialistic planet. So materialistic planet in a very spiritual sign feels very like overwhelmed. But that person can put lot of effort to achieve something in the spiritual field and are much more successful than a Rahu exalted people. It might be possible that a Rahu exalted person is getting Rahu Ketu, not about Rahu, a Rahu Ketu exalted person can be getting huge amount of money and properties and spirituality also they are getting from their childhood. But they are not inclined towards that because they have a sannyasi's friend at home or they have a sannyasi uncle. They are not interested much in that because they are habituated, means they don't pay attention towards those things. But a Rahu Ketu debilitated person can have inclination because Rahu is debilitated in spiritual signs, so that Rahu is aggressive desire to achieve something in spiritual field and the person becomes like same thing. Venus exalted and debilitated, I have seen many Venus debilitated people are having more money than Venus exalted, because Venus exalted people are very giving. They want to give whatever they have to people who are underprivileged or animals or for other cause of the society. I have seen Venus exalted person I have seen who lived his whole life with 3 shirts and 3 pants. And I have seen Venus debilitated person who has slapped mother to get a property, and at a very early age having more than one property. So Venus debilitated is definitely much more lucky for money and property kind of thing. Exactly the same way, Jupiter debilitated is also lucky about money and property kind of thing. Like Rahu debilitated is very good in spiritual venture. Okay, so I will explain those things later also. So bye for today. Have a nice time.